Are you on the fence about training martial arts? Well, this video is for you. Do you watch the John Wick movies and wish that you could do that? Do you constantly listen to Jocko Willink and Joe Rogan and be like, man, I should really take up jujitsu?
Good.
Do you watch the Jackie Chan and Jet Li movies and be like, man, I wish I could fight like that? Or do you watch the UFC and be like, man, I really wish I could fight like GSP?
A long jab of his own is,
Or I wish I could fight like Usman.
And of all the superlatives,
Or I wish I could poke people in the eyes like Johnny Bones Jones.
Because I do poke people in the eyes.
Well, go ahead and jump over that fence. It's time to start training. It has affected my life in so many different ways, and I'm here to share that with you and see how it can apply to you. Now, I'm not saying you're gonna be James Bond or Andrew Tate level.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Simple meta point that as a man, you have a duty to protect your female.
But you'll notice small changes in your demeanor, how you interact with people, how you approach new things, and how you tackle obstacles and the things you like to do. Or like in the case of myself, change completely. I was born with an autoimmune disease. My white blood cells are not able to fight off bacterial or fungal infections. As a result, the dojo and gym are probably the worst places I could be. I have been hospitalized more times than I can count for long durations of time. Plus, to add on to that, I was electrically shocked when I was only 6 years of age. As a result of the electric shock, I've lost several fingers, as many of you have probably noticed.
Gotta use my strong hand.
I only have my pinky and a bit of my ring finger on my right hand with the pad of my thumb. And then on my left hand, I have all my fingers except for the pinky. But my left arm is also jacked up. This is where the electricity went out. And I only have one bone, and I broke my arm when I was like 13, and they set it wrong, so it gets a nice little bend to it. As a result of my disease and accident, I never really had a whole lot of confidence in myself to be able to do things, especially physical things. In fact, when I was in Boy Scouts, when they did the little naming ceremony, my name was Anawahapehe. I believe I said that right, don't quote me, but it basically translates to he who stays indoors. I had a notoriety of just wanting to be indoors and play video games and things like that, Legos. I just wanted to be in my own little bubble because that's where I knew I was safe, and that's where I knew I wouldn't embarrass myself because I didn't have the ability to do things.
Then, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Wait, wrong thing. That all changed when I started training in martial arts at the age of 21. I started very late in my life, but I was out on my own. I just moved back here to Charlotte, and I met a friend, and he was already an instructor, and I started training with him, and the rest is history. Now, I've competed several times, whether it's kickboxing or jiu-jitsu, and now I own a school here in Concord, North Kakalaki, and my confidence personally doesn't really stem from competition. I actually have a very poor competition record. The actual confidence that you build doing martial arts very rarely stems from competition. Now, that's generally the exception and not the rule, though, that some people do get a lot of their success and confidence from competition because they do well. Most people don't do martial arts to compete. Most of them do to get into shape, start a new activity, learn some self-defense. And the confidence actually comes from that side of it because you're able to gain small pieces of success many times in repetition. It makes it like euphoric. It's one of the selling points of kids' martial arts. A kid can have a lot of success very quickly in martial arts, especially against their friends in the class. That confidence stems and builds, and then you become like a little leader in your group, and it just manifests very slowly, but there is change. I've seen it myself with kids in my program. They'll go from shy, not wanting to do anything, to wanting to be in the center of the class, leading everybody in push-ups and jumping jacks and squats. But the confidence is built up slowly. First with drills, being able to actually complete the drills, then with some light sparring where you could perform those techniques against a non-compliant partner, and then against harder sparring or even competition where you're able to actually perform the moves. The confidence builds gradually as we go. Some people never get to this other side, and that's okay, but they've been able to change their confidence from the time they walk in to being able to perform some of the moves, to be able to perform some of the moves against resisting opponents. It makes it awesome, and it builds your confidence internally. But it is a slow process, kind of like weight loss. You don't see it yourself day to day because you see yourself every day. But your friends and peers will notice. Your boss might notice at work. Your coworkers will notice. It's those slow, gradual increases of your ability to take on new tasks, accept new challenges, and also be able to talk to people maybe you had problems talking with to do. Conflict resolution. All of these things are built into that confidence bubble, and it's all because of martial arts. Building off of that confidence, one of the things that you will notice changes in is in your fitness level. This is about as cliche as it gets because fitness is such a Now, fitness is different for every individual on your actual improvement. It could be something as easy as finding yourself not so winded when you go up the stairs. It could be something where you're no longer inclined to eat that horrible meal. You may find yourself on the path to healthy eating and regularly exercising. But those two things normally come not from health benefits, but from actually performance benefits. What I mean by that is you will want to start eating healthier because you feel better doing so when you actually train. Or you may find instead of eating that huge lunch, you kind of move it to dinner and have a light lunch so that way you can calorically manage it and don't feel as poopy when you go to do jiu-jitsu. Now, I'm not saying you're gonna wake up and suddenly have the body of Arnold Schwarzenegger or GSP and have the cardio of Demetrius Johnson. But you might find yourself reevaluating your diet and finding more ways of getting cardio and strength and conditioning and things in to help your performance on the mats. You may find yourself wanting to do more activities on your off days, like going on a hike, going to a rock climbing gym, going to the actual gym, going on a run. And in my case, I found a love for lifting heavy things and putting them right back down. I still hate cardio with a passion, but I do like tempo training and circuit training, which supplements it to a degree. But even with my hand situation, I love working out. I took a lot of inspiration from Jean-Jacques Machado and his Born a Champion documentary.
Jean-Jacques is a gentleman, family man, friend, and, if need be, warrior.
In it, he shows some of his strength and conditioning and workouts, and dude's a legit beast.
Training and you know, he's got the cuff and he's made some adjustments in order to train.
Also, Instagram is chock full of amputee people lifting and doing awesome shit, so there's no excuses for me. Martial arts and fitness helped me lose about 50 pounds. I was weighing in around 210 pounds when I started training and went down as low as 145 and now sit about 165. Now, fitness results are different for each individual, as I mentioned earlier, meaning that some people come in already fit, whether they're a marathon runner, they're a weightlifter, powerlifter, CrossFitter, rock climber, whatever they may be, and they start martial arts, they already have a really good, solid athletic base. Their fitness goals will be different and transform differently. But for someone like myself who is completely out of shape when they started martial arts, the fitness changes will be drastic. And it might be something that actually takes a while for you to kind of balance, is if you want to do strength and conditioning and weightlifting in addition to your martial arts training, and how do you get it to translate onto the mats? It's taken a long time for me to figure out that balance, and I'm still working on it, and as I get older, I continuously have to tweak it. Fitness goals will be different for each individual and will manifest differently. If you feel you need to lose weight to perform better, you'll generally eat less, move more. If you feel like you're too weak to perform the techniques, you'll generally lift to get stronger. But again, that's not always the case. Sometimes martial arts itself gives you everything you need. You don't need any extra training. And by training, I mean like working out, lifting weights, and running. And for a lot of people, that's okay too, because they can perform the techniques well enough with their given attributes and they don't have to actually work on it. Someone like me, I like lifting weights to help protect my joints, as opposed to working out for the aesthetics reasons. And generally, fitness manifests differently for everybody. As your fitness levels improves, you may look slimmer, you may look bigger. One other thing you'll notice is you'll actually develop a bit of a tribe. Now, I hate this word just because it feels like it's attached to some negative things, but I don't think community is also the right word.
Now this is why I came to America.
It's like a step above community but below family. So tribe it is. Your dojo becomes like a second family. And just like any family, not everyone is your favorite person at the dojo. Some you'll really like, some you'll really not like, and that's just normal.
You tricked me! Everybody hates me!
No, little dude.
Honest.
But you learn to respect each other regardless. Generally, if you like the people you train with, you'll want to train more. So when you find a tribe or a school or a dojo or a community that you like, you tend to stay in it more and defend it more from vultures. The vultures are the people that come into the dojo that don't immediately fit, and those are the ones that don't join. Those that don't join generally don't vibe well, and the culture just kind of expels them naturally. This isn't always the case. Some people are KY as fuck. KY doesn't mean the lube. It's a Japanese word, kuki ga yomenai, and it means those who cannot read the room or the air. Next time your friend is being aloof, you can call him KY, and they'll be like, what did you call me? For someone like myself, I had a few close friends, but I didn't have a lot of friends. And as soon as I started martial arts, I felt that number expand exponentially. Now I have friends all over the world that like to train with me, which is weird to say out loud. And via YouTube as well, I have a lot of friends internationally that love watching my videos. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Something a little weird that I'm not quite comfortable with is when people call me Sifu or anything like that, or call me a leader. I'm just kind of trying to do the best for the dojo and lead it in a good direction. I don't necessarily like being called a leader. It's like too close to like cult.
Don't you want to become a cult leader?
But I get the implication. They're not saying it from a bad place or saying it to instill me as a cult leader. I hope not. They're saying it as in like I'm trying to make everyone better, and I've lived through a lot of mistakes in my martial arts journey, and I'm just trying to help people not make those same mistakes. Or if they do make the same mistakes, improve faster than I did. But this tribe thing doesn't really manifest immediately. As soon as you start to fit in and are liked inside the dojo, you'll be expected to be there, some weird obligation. Your friends will start messaging you, hey man, why weren't you at class? And then you have to give a good answer, otherwise, or ignore them, or quit. And this is generally a good thing. Either they like training with you because you provide a certain look, you're fun to hang around, or you just fit into the tribe well. It's all good things. But the most important part of this tribe is actually you. Not the leader, not the other people, it's you. How you fit into it. What do you bring to the table? And generally everyone brings something a little bit different. That's what makes the dojo so much fun. You could train with a lawyer, a doctor, someone who works at a grocery store, a childcare worker, teachers, unemployed. You can work with anybody in here and we're all equal on the mat. That's when the true personality shows in and the tribe and the vibe of the culture set in, and then you get this magical place you like to train called the dojo. Now, none of this is a guarantee that it will happen as I have described, but I can guarantee you that it won't happen unless you get off the fence and walk through the door. So what are you waiting for? Open it.